I've been thinking a lot about Instagram and YouTube and Reels and videos and content creation and posts and, all that stuff. And I've been wanting to like post vlog type videos, like mixed with documentary style. Kind of similar to the last reel that I posted on Instagram, where I was talking about a painting series that I'm working on. And I think what's holding me back from actually going out and achieving that goal that I had is my perfection curse. And I've talked about this for a while. There's something in the back of my head that's just like, if you want to make videos, you need a godly camera and you need to like clean your workspace every single day, and it needs to look nice and presentable, and like the house needs to be cleaned, and like I need to be wearing nice and cool clothes, and my face needs to be clear, and that's just not like a reality. I don't live that type of life every single day. I'm a very chaotic person. Controlled chaos, I'd say. I know where everything is on my desk. It looks like shit, but I know where to find everything, I guess is what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong, I will go on like major cleaning sprees and stuff and, fix things up. But yeah, I guess what's been holding me back is that perfection curse. Another part of it is like, I feel like I need to have a certain standard for like editing and color grading and whatnot, and I just don't have the time to do that. I work in the game industry now. Some days I'm working like 10 to 12 hours, and I just don't have the time or energy to put into editing the videos and coming up with crazy transitions and making the videos look like movies with like some insane level color grading. I don't know, dude. So I'm kind of like over that. My fiance and I were talking about this actually this morning, and we're just gonna jump into it. We're just gonna jump into it with no plan. I'll just vlog about random stuff that's going on in my life, and show you what's really going on behind the scenes, because this right here is the real me. This mess of a person is what it's really like to live a day in my shoes. Well, now that weird intro is out of the way, the last time I posted a video, I was in my old apartment, and it was stark white with minimalist decor. And why is my tripod still right there? Sorry guys. Yeah, but we moved into a new industrial style loft apartment. This is the opening entrance, and this is what I mean by chaotic, okay? That's Shelly's clay making stuff. These are paintings that I'm working on. In case you aren't familiar with my Instagram, this is a series that I'm doing based on mangas that I like. No specific mangas in mind. I'm just like making manga inspired magazine cover giant paintings. That's basically it. There's Shelly's guitar. There's a random mirror in the corner. Just chaotic stuff going on. This is a huge paper piece that I'm working on. And there's a giant pile of shoes right in front of the door because we don't organize things. And then here's my desk. Here it is. This is where all the art magic happens. In this little tiny sliver of a desk, because that's all the room I have, because there's just so much stuff on the desk. I got a bunch of Copic markers here. I got back into drawing with them recently on like sticker slaps. This is basically like how I started off my art page and stuff. It's been nice, pretty nostalgic. More sketchbooks there. Grid post-it, a wood block that I'm probably gonna draw on with Copics. I have this nice retro clock. My uncle used to have one of these, and it would blare off when I used to live with him, and yeah, I got it just for the memories. It's not even plugged in yet. It does work, the clock and the radio, it works, but I don't have it plugged in right now because I don't have a power strip down there, and sometimes I need to, you know, plug in my laptop and iPad for work. There's a laptop in question. More sketchbooks. Really cool vintage lamp thing. Copic refills. I just got this. One of my neighbors left it outside of his door the other day. I thought it kind of went with the setup. Plus I really needed like some organizing shelves or cabinets or drawers or something for all this mess here when I actually do decide to clean up. We're entering the living room now, and it's a little messy, so prepare yourselves. There's my cat, couch, TV, vinyl player, dog, and yeah, this is it. We don't have too much. We moved like a month ago, like I mentioned before, but if I'm not working at this desk over here for 8 to 12 hours a day, I'm probably working here or at a cafe. I have like a TV dinner stand thing that I'll set up and plop my iPad on, and then I'll throw something on the TV on YouTube usually. Probably like a crime doc or something, or walking through insert city name here. It's just something that I found to be a good tool to use to get into the flow state a little easier. It's not like a distraction or anything. I think having something on in the background just helps calm me and makes me draw more. I don't know how that works, but usually if there's something in the background, it really helps. That's why I go to cafes a lot too, because the background noise is pretty calming. But yeah, we got a huge mess back here. A bunch of books. The plan is to build like a huge industrial pipe style bookcase with a ladder to like showcase how tall these ceilings are. And there's our loft up there. That's where our bed's at. Probably not gonna go up there because it's really messy. But yeah, that's the living room. And I ran out of sprouts recently, and I'm gonna go make some, and I think I'm gonna bring you with me. So here's part of our new kitchen. We got a nice walk-in pantry that Shelly just fixed up the other day. Got like some hanging herbs right there. I don't know which ones they are. I think she told me, but I can't tell the difference. I think this is rosemary, oregano, thyme, and I have no idea what those are. But we came in here for some sprouting kits. I try to make these sprouts like at least once a week. Basically, you just fill these up with seeds, soak the seeds for like 8 hours, and then you rinse, drain them, and repeat for like 3 to 5 days. I try to eat sprouts with like every meal, just because they're jam-packed with nutrients and vitamins and stuff, superfoods. So what you do is you take a 1/4 cup of seeds, you pour it into this jar, you rinse them like 2 or 3 times, and then you leave them to soak in water for like 8 hours-ish, 6 to 8 hours. I think that's what the package said anyway.
And then after that, you just rinse and repeat. You don't have to soak them multiple times. All you have to do is drain the water and, you know, rinse them. I think it's like 1 to 2 times a day. And then in 3 to 5 days, you'll have sprouts that you can put in sandwiches, in soups, whatever. All right, here they are. This one's the alfalfa seeds, and this one is the broccoli seeds. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll see at least the alfalfa sprouting. These ones, I feel they sprout like way quicker than the broccoli ones. Whenever I do these ones, they sprout like on the 2nd or 3rd day. And then these ones sprout on like the 4th or 5th day sometimes. And then they just start growing like crazy. This one is pretty amazing, the alfalfa. 1, they taste pretty good. And 2, when they're sprouted, this whole jar will just fill with green sprouts. Like it looks beautiful. But yeah, we're done sprouting for now.
It's been about 2 or 3 days since I was last recording. I had like a huge update due for Tech Tree Games. The game is Idle Planet Miner. We were adding like a whole new system. So I had to draw like somewhere around 50 new items and a couple icons, but I got that all done. I'm wearing these blue light glasses because I was staring at a screen like the whole weekend. I was drawing on my iPad and then immediately just getting on the TV for like YouTube, Netflix, or video games. So my eyes are kind of strained right now. Sadly, I don't think I can share too much of the process behind what I do for the game dev stuff just because of, you know, updates and NDAs and stuff. There wasn't any NDAs specifically signed. I'm just trying to be a team player and not like ruin the update for potential, you know, players who are actually into the game. So I might share a few of the art pieces that I did, some of my favorite ones, but right now I'm thinking of moving on to either that giant paper drawing that I shared in the beginning of the video, or a commission that I'm working on for a friend down in California. His name is KJ. He owns a car wrapping business, and he wanted to wrap his personal car with my artwork. He's a huge fan of Naruto, and he asked me to draw the fight scene between Gaara and Rock Lee. So I've been chipping away at that for like 2 months now. It's almost done. I have like 3 more sides of the car to do: the hood, the roof, and the trunk. So yeah, I'm gonna set up that piece of paper, and then I'm also gonna set up my iPad to work on the Naruto drawing. We're gonna set up the paper art piece right here, just above the amplifier. It was sitting right about there a couple days ago, but Shelly started doing ceramics again, and I didn't want any like random clay splattering on it. So I ended up moving it over here in the hallway with all my paintings. It's right here just in case you forgot what it looks like. So we're gonna try to finish the sketch today. If not, it's fine. It's a big piece and there is no like plan for it, so we'll just see where the pencil takes us. Yeah, eventually I do want to get back to these paintings, by the way. I started them back in January, and I took a massive break in February after I finished up Bubblegum and did parts of this one, but I don't know, it's not that I don't like them, it's that I wanted to work on other things. And one thing that I've learned about myself is I can't like put unnecessary pressure when working on personal projects like this, because it's just going to create like a negative atmosphere, and the art might not turn out the way that I want it to, and I might end up putting myself through a state of art block after I do finish. So no unnecessary pressure. I know I'm going to come back to them. I already feel the itch to come back to them, but yeah, I'm really liking how they're turning out. This is the blueprint for the last one. There's only 3 in the series, but what I'll do is I'll
draw them digitally on my iPad, and then send them over to Office Depot's print center and ask them to print it out on 18 by 24 blueprint paper. And basically you put a sheet of graphite transfer and then the blueprint paper on top, and then you just transfer the digital print onto the canvas or wood or whatever you're using. And yeah, as you can see, it gets really in there. Really hard to erase sometimes too, so you got to be careful. But yep, that's how these paintings go. We're not working on those today. We're gonna go set up that piece of paper now and get to sketching. All right, we got the paper piece set up. This is actually the largest that I've sketched traditionally. I'm mainly like a digital artist because that's what my work demands, but yeah, because this is the largest sketch that I've done on a huge piece of paper, I want to take the time to visualize exactly how I want this drawing to turn out. And unfortunately, can't really come up with an area for this. I know I want her body here. I just don't know exactly what I want in this corner. I might have to just take the lines for a walk and see where they end up. But I know for a fact that these goggles and their perspective are a bit off. It looks kind of goofy. I'm not really sure about how I feel about the teeth. I know I want it to be cartoony and anime-like, so I think the teeth are fine. What I don't like is this lip line on the helmet, so I'm probably gonna erase that or change it somehow. Maybe I can extend that over here and have the goggles like kind of connecting to the helmet, making it, you know, look more unified and put together. But yep, I can't wait to get into the coloring of this. I'm gonna be using Copic markers. The paper's like really thick, just like a moleskin sketchbook. That's one of the reasons why I started bringing the markers out. I haven't used them in probably a year or two. And I started just doing like little sketches on sticker slaps just to, you know, get my bearings. Haven't used them in a long time, so I was afraid that I kind of forgot all the techniques and stuff, but just judging from these, I feel like I'm in a good place to, you know, blow it up to a larger scale. So we're gonna get to sketching, hopefully finish the helmet today, and then maybe finish the body.
It's Friday now. It's been a whole week since I started recording this vlog. I'm like really surprised that I'm being this consistent, like setting up my camera, doing a bunch of work, and you know, sharing the experience, I guess. Yeah, my brain's not like working properly today. I've been getting like probably 5 to 6 hours of sleep per night the past 3 days, and I am dead tired, man. I'm freaking, like, I could pass out right now, but I got work to do. I wanted to film like the last bits of this vlog and also knock out that Naruto commission because I promised to have it done completely by Sunday. So yeah, anyway, I want to talk more about this giant paper piece and what the idea is behind it and why I started it in the first place. So when I bought the paper piece, I didn't have like a clear-cut vision of it. I didn't have anything sketched out in my sketchbooks. I didn't have like a clear idea. The only thing that I saw in my head was a character wearing a helmet, and that helmet was like eating their head. I got that giant piece of paper. I wanted to draw it like on a larger scale, and I just started sketching away. It was also a challenge for myself that I wanted to complete because after I got my job in the game industry, I was really hooked on digital media and drawing on my iPad, and because of that, I wasn't really like sketching a whole lot traditionally. I wasn't drawing in my sketchbooks. A lot of my sketching was done digitally. It just became like part of my daily routine was just opening up the iPad, bringing it to the cafe, drawing in it like 24/7. And I neglected my traditional art skills a lot. I lost a lot of confidence drawing traditionally. I hated erasing because, when you're drawing digitally, you can just hit the undo button. So in a way, this was kind of my way of getting back into the flow of drawing traditionally, being more confident in my imagination, and utilizing skills that I used to use before I got a job in the game dev industry. I did get a lot of practice in drawing traditionally before I started this giant paper piece. I've been sketching a lot in my sketchbooks, like since the start of the year, just trying to get back into the flow of working with pencil and eraser. I had like this really stupid fear up until recently that, if I sketched or drew anything and I erased it, I couldn't redraw it in a better way. And I always felt like the first iteration of a sketch was going to be the best one. But since I've been drawing more in these and, taking the time to actually polish and render my sketches like I do, I've gained like a lot more confidence in myself. And I feel like even if I erase something, I can redraw it and I can get it back, or I can make it better than it used to be initially. There's also another feeling that I've been quite addicted to since becoming more comfortable drawing traditionally. I feel like when I'm sketching, I'm not actually sketching, but I'm sculpting characters or objects. I don't really know how to explain that very well, but I guess I'll try and say that when I'm sketching, my sketches aren't like super messy, scratchy, or unpredictable. They're more highly polished or rendered and kind of look like finished graphite pieces. And I don't know why I draw this way. I feel like maybe it's attributed to that perfection curse, but also maybe that's just my style. I do appreciate like very sketched out, messy drawings that I see on Instagram. I think they're very interesting. For me personally, I don't think that I can get around that block that's telling me that, hey, you don't have to make things look perfect. And at the same time, when I do open up my sketchbook, I'm really happy seeing like these perfected, finished drawings. So I don't know, maybe it's something that I don't really have to work on. Maybe this is just my way of drawing, and maybe I should be more comfortable with that.
These are the blueprints for the Rock Lee versus Gaara car wrap commission. Sadly, I don't have my tripod today, so I can't record any of the drawing process. I was originally going to share the process for the trunk here, but yeah, don't have my tripod. I can't record with one hand and draw with the other. I don't think that's going to work out too well. But I wanted to show you guys what the overall design looked like. The left side of the car is actually done. This one's dedicated to Rock Lee. And this side is dedicated to Gaara. This side is actually done too. And then we have the rough sketch for Rock Lee activating the gates. Rough sketch for Gaara hiding behind the sand shield. The hood where Rock Lee's like winding up some punches. This one was actually completely changed. I felt like it was lacking. It just wasn't dynamic enough, especially after I finished the left and right sides of the car. So I'll go back and show you guys the new sketch in just a second. And the last bit is the roof. We have their headbands and them facing off, and like one of the most iconic moments in anime history where Rock Lee drops his weights. So this is like the new hood design. It's pretty rough, but definitely looks more interesting. He has way more expression in his face. He actually looks pissed off. And then he's winding up that punch back there. This is the complete left side. This is the complete right side. Here is the front bumper. I'm just gonna add like the cracks to his face, and that'll pretty much be 100% done. And here's what I'm working on today. This is the trunk so far. I got the left side illustration pulled up so I can color grab and match the colors. But yeah, I'm gonna get working on this and hopefully show you the end product. All right, we got the trunk of the car's illustration completed. I really like how this one turned out. Rock Lee looks like he's activating the gates here. One thing that I noticed while working on these is that you have to be mindful of space that isn't gonna be used or seen when it goes on the car. So I guess I'm not like totally used to that. I think I would add a little more detail on the sides, but you know, since it's gonna get cut off when it's being wrapped on the car, it doesn't really make sense to add those details anyway. But centerpiece looks amazing. I'm gonna send it over to my friend and then probably immediately start working on the hood. The next time you guys will see this will probably be in the next video. The car itself might be wrapped with the artwork already, or you might just see like an update on the hood and the roof of the car. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna play it by ear, but we're gonna jump over now and start working more on this giant paper piece. Here's where we're gonna leave this giant paper piece for the time being. I'm probably gonna go and you know, finish this up in a future video, but I'm really happy with the progress that we made in a week's time. I got a lot of detail into the goggles. That was something that I wanted to challenge myself with. I've never drawn that type of buckle before. That was pretty fun looking up a reference for that and stuff. I added some stickers, a Sonic one, I guess that's Patrick. Some weathering. There's like duct tape covering a hole over here. And yeah, that is the paper piece. We need to come up with a name with it so that I'm not just saying giant paper piece though, but we'll try to figure that out in the next video. Before I let you go, I'm gonna show you what the sprouts turned out like. I think the alfalfa ones are done. They're like super green. They're filling the entire jar. I'm gonna harvest those right after recording this video. The broccoli ones though, I'm not too sure about. They're like not sprouting. Maybe they are, and maybe that's just how they're supposed to look like. I'm not a sprouting expert. If you are, please drop a comment down below and let me know what I'm doing wrong. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.